It's time for the shop report with
Barbershop Jay.
Why in the world am I on that side and you on that side? Man, get out of there. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, absolutely. That's how it's supposed to be. Come on, man. I'm the bus driver in this whole situation. But anywho, yeah. What up, sports fans? Welcome to the Shop Report. I'm Scruffy McJ today. I'll be your host for the day. Here's what's happening. Of course, we want to remind you the Shop Report is brought to you by Rocket Digital Media. It's the one-stop shop for all your digital marketing needs. You can look them up on Facebook at RDM Detroit, 1D, 2E's Detroit, or you can slide on over to the website, rocketdigital.net. That's ROCKIT digital.net. And make sure when you're there, while you're there, you tell them the BSJ sent you. And for my folk out there in TV land, if you want to leave your questions or comments during today's program, by all means, please do so. And we'll throw it up on the screen. And y'all know what's coming next. If you're one of them folks who want to leave a question or comment that's indignant or ignorant in nature, it won't be seen on this screen. Matter of fact, here's what you'll get.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Exactly. Ain't nobody got time for that. Until we get our other co-hosts in here to join us, they're running a little bit behind time today. I will introduce our one lone star, lone wolf. I don't know what you want to call him. My man from up north, Joey James, aka I don't even know where your intro is at anymore. Who's intro? Oh, intro to Triple Shot of J. Oh wow, I'm getting that confused. The other one, that's my bad. Let me give myself a butt.
yeah.
Joey James, aka Double J. Tell the people what you say. Detroit first. Oh.
That's the way the game is. You win, you lose, you celebrate, and you suffer.
And that's
the late Vin Scully.
I was getting ready to say, well, I hope you didn't get that from TJ, because I was getting ready to roast him for stealing, just like he do me. But anyway, for my folk out there in TV land, I'm glad y'all was able to join us, or I'm glad y'all tuning in right now. We are here to discuss our only item on the menu, and that is the gridiron. And of course, the subject of today's gridiron is none other than Deshaun Watson. And a little bit of a disclaimer of sorts, we were going to discuss our ongoing NFL divisional preview. We were going to do the NFC North. But this discussion, while we wait for our other co-hosts to join us today, this discussion in regards to Deshaun Watson, I'm guaranteeing you all, it will definitely be lengthy. So we will not be doing the NFC North divisional preview. That will be for Sundays. God willing, we all get to see it. That will be for Sunday's show, in addition to maybe the NFC North will do in combination or conjunction with the NFC East or the NFC East, which some people
on whoa. Come on.
Swerping down. Don't lie to the division in football.
Yeah, that guy that's right over there.
I don't know who you pointing at because nobody can see your fingers. The best division in football, as some people on this platform or program might say. And again, before we get to our discussion of Deshaun Watson, we are really waiting on our other co-hosts so that we can really have a full-scale, detailed discussion on this. So, guys, if you're listening, I wish you'd come on in, get in on this. I don't want to start that, and then we have to go back like we've been doing. Come on now. I gave us an 8:05 start time. My gosh. Well, I tell you, they say sometimes it's on time.
Give them an inch.
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad you said it that way. So as a precursor to our Deshaun Watson discussion, let me ask this question to you, Double J. Who replaces Serena Williams as the next women's tennis superstar, in your opinion?
Wow. Okay, typically, and see, I'm always going to do this because out of fear.
Oh, and I didn't hit the start the show button, man. Should I do it now? No, I'll do it when we get to Deshaun Watson. Go ahead, finish.
Yeah,
man. I'm telling, the mind be slipping, man. Like the transmission on 68 Buick that's been sitting in the garage too long. Go ahead. What was you saying?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to say no one, because I don't
Hold that
believe.
thought. Hold that thought,
Okay.
Double J.
All
We
right,
already
all
got
right.
a comment coming in. And Mr. Abdul Smith, we definitely, once we get to discussing Deshaun Watson, we're going to save your comment for that, because that is an excellent comment. I think it needs to be seen by all. But right now, we got a comment on the next women's tennis superstar after Serena. My man D Runk says, easy, Naomi Osaka, if she ever get her mental together. Yeah, go ahead, finish your thought, Double J, and then weigh in on what he
Okay,
just
so
said.
you know what? I want to actually bring up his point. So what? If have you ever seen the movie Borg?
I'm familiar with the title, but no, I don't think, no, I haven't
So
seen it.
like basically, Bjorn Borg had a ton of mental struggles.
Yeah, so did John McEnroe.
Exactly. And that's what made their stories so incredible, and when they ultimately crossed paths. Because remember when they first did, he was a 5-time winner already. And that being
Who, McEnroe?
Bjorn. No.
Bjorn. Okay,
Yep.
Bjorn Borg.
And,
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. And so it was about sustaining that success to the point where this dude was meticulous in everything. He would step on the rackets that he had. They were hand wired. Basically, it wasn't. He didn't have time to, and many often say this with success itself, that when staying at the top is harder than getting there, and it's naturally because of the amount of things that you have to do. And in this case, it really highlighted both a troubled youth for this kid, and ultimately, once he had achieved success, I would almost have made the case that him losing to McEnroe was both a blessing for him, and because what it did is it allowed him, and
Took
it
some
also
pressure
was
off of him.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and that's the thing, but competition.
We got another comment coming in from D Runk. Naomi has the skill. She's popular. She's marketable. I agree with that. It just depends on how bad she wants to be great.
And with her though, that's just it. There's no timetable. Obviously, we are.
What about Sloane Stevens? You wouldn't put her in that mix?
No. I don't think the quality's there. He's right in saying that, at least on paper, that Osaka would be the closest. But you're talking about somebody. How many? She has 24 Grand Slams.
I'm not. No, 22. I think it may be 24. I'm not even sure. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Well. I mean, but how many does Serena have? 124,000. You know what I'm trying to tell you? She got a long way to go to catch her. But yeah, I mean, but as far as, I'm not saying she would, of course, be Serena, because we all love to do that here on this platform. That do the comparison thing. I'm not comparing her to Serena. I'm just saying the next star, as far as when we turn the tube on, if and when we do turn the tube on and tennis is on, she's the main attraction.
So here's the
D-Runk
thing.
said again, no, Sloane don't got the skill level. Sloane had many chances to take over and drop the ball every time. Yeah, I could agree with that too.
So something I'm going to point out, obviously, those that have watched the show, I only did it once, mainly, and I should have probably played a few times, but I played 2K and on this live stream, right?
Okay.
And the My Career mode now allows you to get a very realistic sense of what type of person do you want to be. Meaning,
D-Runk says, I think Naomi did beat Serena. She did, didn't she?
I think once, yes.
Yeah, she did. Okay. So there might be a changing of the guard, passing of the torch. Go ahead, finish your thought.
But this isn't like yesteryear. And that's the point that I was kind of making, that even in the game, there was an example where you could pick an agency. One of them was very tied to music and entertainment. The other one was your traditional, you play at a high level, we'll get you the shoes, we'll get you the Gatorade, etc. So the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter the sport now. Those are the same circumstances that these kids are ultimately facing. You look at someone like a Serena, and I'm pointing this out because Serena's financed, I think, 60 companies. And now she's produced, obviously, King Richard.
I was going to say that, yeah.
And then, of course, you're also battling Father Time, who is
undefeated, as they say.
Correct. So to suggest that there can be another great athlete, absolutely. And I think Naomi Osaka could have very well been a second coming, if you will. However, it's not apples to apples because of where we are. Okay.
You said another great athlete. I said tennis star. Are you an athlete?
Are you kidding? Have you ever played tennis?
Well, you know,
I was in soccer
on the Wii, when I had a Wii on the Wii.
Okay. Hey, I bet you had, you were one of those.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It wasn't good for the knees. I tell you that, buddy.
So, as someone that was at once upon a time was in shape, went and did that. I could only, after 3 sets, I was done. Really, after 2, I when you have to kind of make that other run, to the other side, knowing they're going to hit it with some power, and it's just a waste of 3 steps. You really start, you're like, do I really need to even just let them have it?
Here's another question for you, and for our viewers out there in regards to this whole tennis deal. When it comes to conditioning, and I'm just curious, I'm not saying one over the other. Between the two, who are the better conditioned when it comes to the sport, respectively? Tennis players or boxers? In your opinion?
It's hard.
D-Runk weighing in again. Tennis is athletic. It's just a different type of athletic. Hand speed, foot speed, hand-eye coordination. I'm with that. I agree with that.
Well, and there's so short bursts, right? I mean, this is a conversation I even had with Aiden over the weekend about playing the forward position with soccer behind me.
Soccer. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're not sprinting and really even jogging the entire time. There's appropriate times. So you have to, but boxers, in my opinion, you're getting hit with however many PSI.
D-Runk say boxers are the most conditioned athlete. Between the two, yeah. I would agree with that. I was just curious. Yeah, I was just curious.
And it truly has to come down with the impact side of things, that you can't run away. Think about we talk about in football. That was where I lost a lot of respect for just in terms of the type of in shape that NFL, just the sport of football, you had to be in, because you get breaks in between every play. As we see with what's happening behind me, they may not be running, but you're consistently moving.
Yeah, you got to stay engaged for sure in soccer.
And with American football, you're getting, of course, 30-second
TV timeouts. Yeah,
all
right,
that.
The whole nine. Yeah, you getting all
exactly.
That. Yeah.
So boxing, on the other hand, because I'm making that case with boxing versus tennis. Tennis, as soon as it faults or somebody gets a point, whatever it may be, there's a stoppage in play.
D-Runk weighing in again. Boxers have to be able to go 12 rounds without getting knocked out, also while being on the offensive. I agree with that too. But let me throw something back at you when it comes to football. You got to weigh in. You got to factor in. These guys got on equipment, man. And it's depending on the position, you got some 200-300 pound dudes with this equipment on, man. You factor the helmets and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, DBs now got to be at least 200. Well, not 200. Well, anywhere between the 185, somewhere in there. You add the equipment on, now you easily over 200. You get a running back, and then oh my gosh, how big is a running back? And then add in the weight of the equipment. He get on a breakaway, a 60, 70-yard run, and then guys chasing him. Come on, man. Or think about this in football. Guy get on a run or run forever, 50, 60 yards, catch a long pass, touchdown, and they bring it back. And now you got to turn around and do it again. Come on, man.
But how many times have you seen that same receiver, we'll say, catch it and then do one of these?
He said a boxer's preparation for a fight is nothing but conditioning. I don't know, man. I seen when he was here in Cleveland, I saw Sean Porter getting prepared for a fight. And it was a little bit more than conditioning. And I can imagine guys like Floyd Mayweather or Miguel Cotto or Felix Trinidad or Alexis Arguello or Aaron Pryor or one of them, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hearns, the whole nine. What did he say here? NFL players get subbed in and out every 2 plays, though. I don't even think they more conditioned than boxers. I would agree with that too, because of what boxers got to do. 3 minutes, a 3 minute round. And to his point, you got to go 12 rounds, a 3 minute round. And I know boxers, again, I got a cousin that boxed. We've had him on the show a few times before when we were doing audio. My goodness, man, a 3 minute round feel like 35 minutes. When you get your hands get heavy, guy punching on you and punching them forearms and all that stuff. Yeah, man, that stuff, yeah, it can weigh you down a little bit. But anyway, at the end of the day, I say, Mrs. Osaka, we watching you. We waiting for you to take Serena's or take the mantle. Because after Serena's gone, I like Tiger Woods in golf. I think the sport of tennis is going down the tubes, or it might be going. Well, it won't be as watched as it is or was when Serena was really doing her thing. Venus too, while you playing. And with that being said, we're going to officially start the show. I get them guys a chance to get in here. Hopefully, they'll get in here sooner rather than later. But we're going to officially start the show, and we're going to discuss this Deshaun Watson thing. All right, the verdict is in. Or is it? The arbitrator, what's her name again, Double J? What's the arbitrator's name? Hello? Paging Mrs. Alva. Paging Mrs. Alva. Oh, my gosh. This guy right here. He's taking a water break. Unbelievable. Susan something, I think, is her name. D-Runk, help me out here with this. When you see this guy right here. Oh my gosh.
Hey, no, I was Doc is on his way.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, Doc, good. Come on. Oh, yeah. If y'all ain't seen my man DOC get down, trust me, he get down when he get to getting. But yep, whenever you're ready, man, join us, jump on in. We and if we have to, we'll just go back over some stuff or whatever. But the verdict is in, or is it? Watson gets a 6-game suspension. We all know that, right? So my question first in regards to that is, was he deserving of a 6-game suspension based on the facts that Miss Susan, whatever her name is, I can't recall her last name, based on the facts that she was supposed to be going off of? Now, apparently, they said, they being the national pundits, said her verdict in large part had a lot to do with the fact that he showed no remorse. I don't recall seeing that. Did you, or do you, Double J?
Well, I mean, and this is the thing. Remorse for what?
Yeah, that's a great point.
What are we remorseful of? Because here's the thing. So right surface level, this is what everybody has to take into context too, is that based on the ruling from her, she found him guilty.
Okay.
In terms of there were 3 parts in which she found him guilty. So when she says he didn't seem remorseful or anything like that, you have to understand that you're hearing that statement from the eyes of someone that views him as guilty. So if we're talking about something that, again, is
good looking out, Susan Robinson. Okay, go ahead.
Essentially, if you're innocent until proven guilty, and you're just having a conversation, you're explaining what happened, or just answering questions. Why? I'm where I struggle a little bit with this is it's very subjective. Why should I be remorseful if it was very much consensual? Now, this is the part that throws the majority of people off, is that, think about it, if both of our houses got hit by tornadoes today, the damage is,
my gosh.
Well, no, I'm just throwing it out there because it was storming, but the concept is insurance policies and payouts and rulings and all those things are all case by cases. They're all subjective to just the specifics of their individual case. What happens is society wants us to be apples to apples. Well, I'm your neighbor, but you had a ranch and I had a colonial. You take,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like there's some serious details that are often forgotten or overlooked, and because people are always fixated on just some bottom line consistent, whatever that consistency may be, which in this case would be.
We'll get to
the
your comment
suspension.
in a second, D-Runk. There's another comment I want to throw up here that came in kind of earlier. From my man Abdul Smith. I appreciate you for weighing in. Deshaun Watson falling on the sword unless the NFLPA stands up. And he emphasized up. We've had our issues with the NFLPA. Will they stand up in this case?
Are you asking?
Yeah. Well, I know what you say. What's already understood need not even be asked.
Well, wait a minute.
Based on their history.
Well, historically.
Oh, you know what? And hold that thought, Double J. Let me get to a couple more comments. D-Runk said, I think she ruled that way on purpose because she wanted to put the ball back in Goodell's hands. Either he takes a stand for what's right or falls back. And Abdul Smith weighing in again. I guess Sue Robinson was a stooge, man. What a joke. Absolutely. Oh, and shout out to Nisa Smith. All right. My sis all the way down there. Well, I'm not going to give the location. You know what I mean? She have paparazzi at her door. She said the whole thing is a joke. So go ahead, Double J. Which one you want to take to weigh in on? Well, let me add a comment here or two.
Okay.
We've been discussing this as from the beginning, and we've been following this as most people have, as you know, up to this point. And one of the things we said or mentioned early on in one of our previous broadcasts was, once got to Sue Robinson, she had to go off the facts. Okay. So I'm wondering, in giving him a 6-game suspension, and it came out, I don't know if it's true or not, he wasn't remorseful. What that got to do with the facts? Sounds to me like the voters who vote for Hall of Fame candidates. You know what I'm saying? I don't like for instance, Kenny Lofton. We never did get to mention that. And I know this is a little sidebar right quick, but I'm just going to try to correlate and bring the two together. Some sports writer said, I didn't vote for him to get in Hall of Fame because of how he treated us. What they got to do with what he did? So in other words, my point is, you're supposed to go off the facts. You going off of he wasn't remorseful? That's an opinion. The fact is, 2 Texas grand juries didn't find anything criminal. Not 1, 2 Texas grand juries. Hold on,
So,
didn't find nothing criminal. And
okay,
we all know.
but
Let's just hold on, just keeping it real. We keeping it real now. Okay. No offense to nobody out there, but we here to tell the truth. There used to be a game show actually back in the 80s, 70s, late 70s, 80s. Go look it up. We all know when it comes to folks of a certain color in Texas, verdicts don't usually go. And grand juries, that's not necessarily a recipe. That's not a strawberry smoothie. You get what I'm trying to tell you? So not 1, but 2 Texas grand juries didn't find nothing criminal. Then on top of that, or add to that, there was a little boy who was interviewed. I don't know if it was by the NFL or Sue Robinson, whichever one of them, but he was interviewed by somebody in regards to this, and he basically told on his mother. Do you recall that? The little boy said, yeah, you know, my mom was speaking highly of Deshaun Watson. She said he was a nice guy and blase until there was some money involved. I'm just saying. So where in her decision, if you basing it off the facts, because those are 2 facts, right? How do you come out with a 6-game suspension? And then let me not, please, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the whole Robert Kraft, Mr. Brothel Kraft, and Mr. Sedemont Snyder, who's setting out his cheerleaders.
This is where I'm going to interject. Remember, Kraft's
D-Runk
charges...
says it isn't a criminal case, it's a moral case. Okay, I'm with you on that. Okay. But then if we're speaking morality... Why did it take so long for these so-called folks to come forward on this? Oh, and then let me add in this little tidbit too. Turns out that the lawyer or the attorney for the alleged victims was neighbors with the previous owner of the Texans. And it's just mighty funny how they got out from up under this by settling, and ain't nobody talking about them, the Texans, that is. And
well, for those that want to view it as an admission of guilt by settling, which there's what's known as a nuisance clause, which allows people to settle because, simply put, you're bothering me, leave me the heck alone, and I'm gonna pay you to do so.
But doesn't it seem odd to you though that it wasn't until Deshaun Watson axed out of Houston that all of a sudden, because the Texans were complicit in all of this. We got another comment coming in. Let's see here. Abdul Smith saying exactly Nisa. Basically, public perception wants him to be remorseful, but his character is still tarnished. I mean, come on now. What's already understood really need not even be discussed right here, right now. But we're doing it. And once again, we got another comment here. Nisa weighing in again. Why would someone be remorseful for something they didn't do? Hello. Power and status. Yeah. Y'all keep the comments coming in. Y'all doing better than us, and we doggone hosts on here. Double. I think we might need to be replaced, man. I'm just saying, because they weighing in on this one, man. I mean, come on, man. At the end of the day, here we go. You got another one. How can anyone speak on morals when the whole system is immoral? Oh my God.
So I would like to read something to you.
Hey, I'm sending you an application. I'm just letting you know that now.
As of 2018.
Hold on, D-Runk saying, I'm with you, Jay, but a professional athlete getting massaged by at least 60 different women is questionable, and then accusations being made. Hey, listen, I get it. But here's been my whole point to this whole thing. The NFL in the last, what was it? The CBA, was it? Double J? They had verbiage that said conduct detrimental to ... And included in that was owners, because we got a few more things we're going to get to here. Owners, and basically employees and employers.
Well, no. Dude, right away in the personal conduct policy, it says it is a privilege to be a part of the National Football League. Everyone, which is bold, underlined, it's the only word that is bold and underlined. Everyone who is a part of the league must refrain from conduct detrimental to the integrity of and public confidence in the NFL, which includes owners, coaches, players, other team employees, game officials, employees of the league office, NFL Films, NFL Network, and any other NFL business. So anyone under the umbrella.
Oh, okay. So let's go back again to Robert Kraft and Daniel Snyder.
But this is where I'm going to draw a parallel with Kraft, because yes, he was found during the sting, but remember, those prostitution charges were dropped.
Imagine that. On the basis of what, I'd like to know. And even still, whether they were dropped or not, isn't that conduct detrimental to you were caught in the place? That alone is enough sufficient enough for it to be conduct detrimental to. And for your name to be dragged and your character to be dragged all up. In response to D-Runk, yeah, D-Runk, but nobody has questioned Kraft, Snyder, or Jones. No public outcry or questioning for these people. That's my point. Hold on, he weighing in again. D-Runk say Trevor Bauer got suspended from Major League Baseball for having rough intercourse with a woman who said it was consensual, but he went too far. 2 years. Yeah. Listen. What Daniel Snyder did, what Robert Kraft did, Jerry Jones, Stephen Ross, all we forget. I was going to come to him. I got that information here too, but we just throwing it in now. Throw all of them folks.
Don't forget Jim Irsay.
Obviously, Jim Irsay. Throw all of them folks in the arena. And I asked you, which of the 5, 6, 7, 8 cases, employee, employer, are more egregious than the other in order? Where do you think Deshaun Watson's alleged infraction would fall?
Well, to D-Runk's
it wouldn't be at the top.
It wouldn't be at the top, but only because of the acts taking place, both where they took place and in, Snyder's is by far the worst. But the problem is Snyder, his is still ongoing, and he conveniently is dodging. He hasn't been subpoenaed yet to appear anywhere.
On. Let me read this comment. They ain't questioning them because they're not on the field. Yeah, we know that. Robert Kraft is the owner. He ain't the product. I'm not saying it's right, but this is how the NFL see it. But again, the NFL and the NFL,
that's not how they see it, because based on that, the what I read,
what you just read, exactly,
yes, that they don't see it that way. It's the media choosing to go for the low-hanging fruit because the players are deemed the
only thing the NFL sees is color. Absolutely. I personally believe Robert Kraft is a sex trafficker, but y'all know how the system works when you got billions. Absolutely. Go ahead, Double J. Finish what you were saying. Absolutely.
So here's the thing. They had Robert Kraft on video.
Yeah.
Okay, see, this is a part of evidence that if we want to go apples to apples, Deshaun Watson, Robert Kraft, you have a stronger case here in terms of, hey, these are supposed to be similar. They both supposedly paid for massages that, for lack of a better term, included a happy ending of some kind, or to had a discussion about it that led to
consensuality or whatever the case may be. Okay.
Right. So by no means am I saying Robert Kraft did anything that was non-consensual. Now, legal or not is two different things. In his case,
sure,
he's on videotape, but a judge conveniently blocked that tape.
Of course.
Additionally, what I find awfully strange is this is how, Forbes released a list of the owners by team and what their values are. Not what the teams are worth, what they're worth.
The owners.
Correct. Which is, again,
D-Runk, the collective bargaining agreement says otherwise. That's my sticking point.
So,
and by the way, all of y'all making great points. We appreciate y'all for joining us. Go ahead, Double J. Finish what you're saying.
We've sat here and I think the bigger issue is, how could a player, someone who is, when the NFL stands typically for not for long,
obviously,
why are, think about how we view general businesses and organizations, that, poor management will lead to poor results everywhere. But yet these individuals who are supposed to live by the same code that they wrote have proven time and time again that they're not. But yet the same governing body who's so quick to go after the players doesn't do so as it pertains to them. I mean, they did with Stephen Ross this time, which is fine. But it took creative journalism to be able to oust that, and it took a cry from where's Brian Flores right now? So
it's not even what Deshaun Watson did. It's the amount of women. This dude got 6 WNBA teams of accusers. Okay, that's fine. But are they fact or fiction? Where did they all come from? Here, listen, see, again, let me remind people now. The little boy who was interviewed of one of the accusers, they were selective. Hey, matter of fact, hold up. Let me stop right there. Let me back up a little bit more. Tony Busby was the next door neighbor to the Texans owner. Okay? You get what I'm trying to tell you? This ain't no coincidence. When the dude said he wanted up out of there, and he wasn't the only Texans player, Andre Johnson, Hopkins, all of it. It was something else going on down there in Texas, you understand? You understand what I'm trying to tell you? That all them guys wanted up out of there. So here's what it is. They had a card. You know how they do. They get a card on you, baby. You think you got about to be up out? We're going to pull this card. But in doing so, they done opened up a Pandora's box, is what they done did. Shout out to the Purple Pocket Podcast. How you want to do that, Double J?
We need an email.
Yeah, you got to send us an email, and we'll send you an invite, and you can jump in. No profanity and things of that nature, please. We keep it clean right here. We articulate, baby. As long as you keep it clean, you can be seen. All right. It's all to the good. Send us email and we'll let you join in. But at the end of the day, Watson, like Abdul said early on, man, he'll fall on the sword. Listen. Hold on. D-Ronk said, but it only hurts the Texans to set Deshaun Watson up because it lowered his trade value. Did it?
Did it though?
Yeah, he got did it? But see, here's what I don't understand. The Browns, even with all of this stuff circulating around him, I don't think it was Jimmy Haslam so much as it was D. Haslam. If you go look up Jimmy Haslam's wife, she's a part of a whole lot of women's groups and such and so on and so forth. You get what I'm trying to tell you? I think she signed off on bringing Deshaun Watson here in spite of or despite all of the stuff that was circulating around the guy. I think there are some things. See, she wouldn't. I don't know her personally, but from being around Brown's camp and talking to players and things of that nature, she didn't sign off on that if she thought they didn't okay that if they thought that he really did what was being said of him. You feel what I'm trying to say? Purple Pocket Podcast, better bet. Appreciate that. I have a show tonight. I'll jump on y'all next live. Good show, fellas. I'll send an email. It's all to the good. We appreciate you for weighing in. To me, we all know the NFL's hypocrisy. Okay? When I did the recommended reading, and did I do the recommended reading on the league? Yeah, I did. The book about how the NFL came to be. I'm talking about all the way back from the early 1915 and so on and so forth, right? So believe me, if any of you all out there have read that book, it's called The League. I forget who the author is right now. I got it behind me, but I'm not going to turn around and reach to get it. But it's called The League. If you read that book, you'll see what's happening right now is par for the course. This thing has been etched in since day one, this type of stuff. They're not going to never pass up an opportunity to remind you who's in charge. I'm going to say it that way. You know what I'm trying to tell you? But at the end of the day, the hypocrisy is unprecedented, even for the NFL at this point. They're going to have to deal with this. They're going to have to deal with this. And here's why. Let me get to my next one. The NFL decides to appeal. So what was the point of what purpose did the arbitrator serve?
Are you asking me?
I mean, it's rhetorical, but yeah, I'm asking Abdul Smith. Hold on, D-Ronk. What do you think about Deshaun didn't get no pushback from the Texans until he requested a trade? Then the allegations came to play. Go figure. Hello. Well,
here's the thing. Hello? The NFLPA is going to have to. The NFL is going to get sued over this, which is going to allow Deshaun to play Week 1.
Oh, of course. Well, we said that too on a couple shows ago.
Here's the thing. It was a formality based on that collective bargaining agreement that this process take place. You could tell that this lady's hands were tied, and
D-Ronk said when Big Ben Bathroom Chronicles came out, I felt they should have threw him out the league. Yeah, I do too, but different strokes, different folks. Go ahead, Double J, finish.
So with this, for them to overrule her, really, this to me is the ultimate guiding light. That is if you questioned, is the NFL really out to get people? The answer is yes.
Okay.
Because they could have easily, okay, our independent person ruled on it. That was the process we agreed to. It's not like they said, no issue. We're going to move forward. Now we can move forward. Great. Mm-hmm. They could have left it at that. He sits 6 games, done. By them choosing to intervene and overrule the neutral party, I don't care they're not going to lower the games.
And of course not. Of course not. Yeah.
Which means,
would it look bad for them if they only give him 2 more?
It doesn't matter what they do. They've already exposed themselves.
Okay, got you.
That's it. You're no matter, just by getting in the middle of that, you're now getting sued from the NFLPA because that's not what we agreed to.
D-Runk said the Texans probably knew about it for sure. Well, they obviously knew.
Well, no, wait a minute. The Texans, of course, knew, and the Texans were actually quote unquote providing. They were setting these things up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. They would. Yeah, they were enabling it. Maybe they held it until he asked for a trade, but they didn't get all 60 women he got massaged from to lie on him. I can't see it. Hey, let me say something to you.
They both paid the same amount of. They both have the same amount of settlements right now. So the Houston Texans have settled with the same amount of people that Deshaun Watson has. They've written checks too, but no one's talking about it.
Oh, of course not.
Where's their arbitrating case?
But here's the deal, though. I didn't know the number was 60, but you can go back through history in other facets of life. I would not put it past nobody for somebody to make up something on somebody and say somebody did something that they didn't do. Let's look at the penal system, for instance. How many dudes are locked up in the penal system that we've seen? You can go look up the fact that them got out from wrongful convictions. So yeah, people lie all the time, men and women.
Sure, but ultimately, what we have to stick with is what facts we know, because they're not.
Y'all think all Deshaun accusers lying?
Not all of them, no. But here's the thing. Many of them, it didn't matter where they stood. It was the opposite, which would be interesting to see if a prosecutor would then go find all 60 of them and then charge them with soliciting prostitution.
Hello?
Let's see if they're still interested in settling them.
Thank you. Yeah.
Again, it's somewhat rhetorical in that sense, because what you're admitting guilt from their end. Hey, I gave this guy a massage, and I also did what I did with Bob Kraft. And so, well, I'm also admitting to committing a crime. Regardless of the fact that it was consensual, I was paid to do something that is deemed illegal. So you're snitching on yourself for a check that, again, is somewhat bewildering to me, that you're going to tell on yourself. And the Texas prosecutors aren't interested in those 60 people?
D-Runk said, when all this happened, Deshaun Watson was the second best quarterback in the league behind Mahomes. How does it help the NFL to set him up? Hey, man, they will sacrifice they don't mean nothing to them. They don't care nothing about that for their own interest. They don't care nothing about that.
The words from those in the league from yesteryear was, the NFL does whatever it takes to, quote unquote, protect the shield.
Okay. All right. And on that note, we're going to take a quick commercial break, 30 seconds. Hey, put that remote back down. Hey, if we have any technical difficulties coming back, bear with us. Sometimes the system don't act like it's supposed to. Be right back.
It's Kate Cunningham, and you're watching The Shop Report.
It's Chris Murray, and you're watching The Shop Report.
Touch that dial.
Max and Key, you're dropping in on The Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching The Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching The Shop Report.
Barbershop Jay, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching The Shop Report.
Double J, did you do that? Did you cut it short? We're going to get to a couple more comments here. Let's see who we got on the comment side. Nisha Smith weighing in again. When people have cash, thirsty people will come out of the woodworks to get a piece of it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And guess what? That's not just in the NFL. That's in life, period.
Well, they wouldn't have a suethem.org or whatever.
So
if you played Zynga games, you can get a $5 check. If you have an Apple phone.
I believe. He said, hold on, Double J. I believe in a lot of conspiracy theories, wild stuff, but I don't think Deshaun Watson's innocent. But what make him guilty? What make him guilty? Y'all got the self-defense dude. I'm sick. Nah, it ain't self-defense. What I'm saying is, if he is guilty, he ain't no more, no less guilty than Robert Kraft and Daniel Snyder. That's why I said again, hey, listen, for that little boy that the NFL interviewed, for him to say what he said, he was just telling the truth as a kid. He put his mama on blast. That right there alone make me question her and everybody else. And that's no offense to anybody who was literally wrongfully, and legitimately wrongfully messed with, so on and so forth. But in this case, man, it's too many questions.
Well, now, wait a minute, too. Something that was brought up a little earlier was the number of people.
Oh yeah, he talking about the self-defense dude in the commercial. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, Commander Brown. Oh yeah.
Commander Brown. That's Double J's best friend. Yeah. That matter of fact, that's Double J's best friend. Yes, it is.
TJ.
Where's TJ at when you need him? Go ahead. What were you saying?
The number 60 came into play because 60 people, basically the defense had gotten the equal amount of folks to say that they had given massages to Deshaun and had no issues. So that's where the number 60 came into play. Not there were 60 total
accusers.
Cases. Yeah.
Okay, got you. All
now,
right,
look, it's easy based on any figure to make an assumption, right? And it's also easy to pretend that we do no wrong individually. And all of us can look in the mirror or take one real hard look and know exactly what things that they would choose, make a different decision in present day. So the point is, this moral policing that's done by ourselves, society as a whole, the media, this is where we're crucifying this guy. This is a Salem witch trial for someone that, again, multiple grand juries said otherwise. Now, keep this in mind too. I bring up the Salem witch trials on purpose because they awarded $3 billion to exonerate those folks.
But so, you know what too, though? I think whatever the outcome, the 6 games and whatever else is coming after the fact, once again, it's not based on anything substantive. It's based on public perception.
It's all opinion based.
When he got the 6 games, the outcry was not to the same tune as it should have been. See, here's the thing.
This is the NFL putting their own foot in their mouth. If people want to complain, look, oh, well, whoever the receiver from Atlanta, he got 17 for gambling. Well, look what happened to Pete Rose. He's still paying that penalty today.
I'm with you, D-Runk. I can read your comment. I'm not going to throw that one up there, but I will read it. I seen a video of Deshaun Watson paying a lady to dress up in a housemaid outfit. Yeah, but okay, but
we've seen that one too.
Dude on some weird stuff. Okay, but here's the deal though. And Robert Kraft ain't. Listen, nobody is saying.
Oh, and his attorneys asked for those tapes to be burned, but they were not. Yeah,
of course. I'm not. All I'm saying is whatever Deshaun Watson is guilty of, the reaction to it and the punishment, if you want to call it that, levied against him. The clock is ticking on Kraft, Snyder, Jones, and all of that. Because if this is what he's getting, because like somebody mentioned comments earlier, his reputation is tarnished. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
What he did, accused of, alleged, however you want to, whatever adjective you want to use to describe it, put it up against what the other people we've been discussing, what they did. And where is the outcry? That's all I'm saying. Fair exchange ain't no robbery.
Look, when the gentleman who owned the Clippers,
sitting here talking about Deshaun Watson, we should be talking about Robert Kraft to the same degree, and Daniel Snyder.
Well, Snyder is the one that I don't know how much longer he can avoid this, because they keep having proof, and they're doing a darn good job trying to silence these people on that side.
Of course.
And it's interesting to me because he was supposed to testify when I was out there in June to Congress, and he conveniently was out of town.
Of course.
But you're telling me.
Meanwhile, Deshaun Watson, he get an ankle bracelet.
I don't for the life
go
of me.
Nowhere.
This guy was literally running a prostitution ring in his own organization. Amongst some very this almost depend the fact that
the whole Commanders organization is cursed. I got no idea how they still own that team. That's Daniel Snyder.
I don't either. But you know what
Daniel
it is?
Snyder.
The reason why is because no one's talking about it. If the media, if journalism and
thank you
ethics actually existed in 2022, he wouldn't. They would have
Yeah,
they would have never let their foot off. There's so much gas over there and fire enough to cause a California wildfire.
Ain't no more P. Franklins. Ain't no more P. Franklins. No, journalism is not what it is now ain't what, by definition, that ain't what it is. Because here's the deal. All of these national pundits that are speaking out against this, against him, and in favor of the women, that's fine. But I want to see some video of you all donating to women's charities, women's groups and things of that nature. You're only in it because it's a hot topic. You understand? You don't really care. If you cared, there'd be some evidence of you on record prior to in defense of.
But here's the thing. He's not accused by any of these people of anything, like not even what Trevor Bauer did. Like that's kind of my point here. Like they're coming at him in this manner that it was like he was this Jack the Ripper, modern day, out there, forgive me for, he was doing, the 4-letter R word.
He said, side question, how do y'all rate Goodell as a commissioner?
He's the worst one I've ever seen.
Yeah, terrible. TU RIBLE with a capital Erable.
What has he done that's benefited the NFL? But look what he did. Look what he did to Dave Portnoy. Like, yeah. I mean, and then he was on Congress, in front of Congress, and he lied, and he was testifying under oath. Everybody knows that he's intentionally done whatever he could to keep Dave Portnoy away from the NFL. Dave Portnoy with that money for charity for that to have the draft at his house or whatever. And then they refunded it the next day when they realized he won it. All that money, he was the highest bidder. So I never want to hear that there's character and morals from people like Roger Goodell. No, they continued to make themselves look like fools. And I'm not some kind of woke individual. I'm calling it as I see it.
Hey, that's all you can do. I'm just reading the cards that's been laid out on the table, the cards that's been dealt, so to speak. Let me ask you this. Okay, the NFL PA, they work both sides too, if you ask me, in certain situations. But in this case,
don't get me started.
Yeah, they're going to appeal, right? They're going to appeal the appeals. Am I saying that right?
Yes.
Okay, so when they do, if they do, what happens then?
There's, first of all,
D-Runk said, yeah, they did my boy Dave dirty, 1 bite pizza. Absolutely. Yeah.
The formality is you appeal the decision. However, and this is where, if there's any legal experts out there, by all means chime in. They're going to have to file a lawsuit formally against the NFL for the actions that were taken, which is to override the independent arbitrator.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Because again, they're breaking their own rule. The NFL understood this, and this is where. What's that age-old saying about spiting something to save the,
don't cut your nose off to spite your face.
Yes. Mm-hmm. This is what the NFL is doing. They're literally cutting their nose off because they're saying, we're going to break the rule. Players that we tell you to walk this way and talk this way, and, Aerosmith and Run DMC. And, but at the same time, even though we also said that we're going to play fair and let an independent group handle this now, and that way you guys don't get mad at us with our rulings being fair or unfair, and being the commissioner being the judge, jury, and executioner.
That's my point, though. See, if you add in all of the ingredients, it's like oil and water. You got the CBA, the conduct detrimental to that you just read, everybody under the umbrella. You come down, you get an arbitrator, but you override her. This, you keep adding stuff in. It just it don't.
But here, no, it does. It does, because what you're really seeing
The
What-
NFL can still have Deshaun sit out until the lawsuit is finished, which will take at least a year and a half. I don't
No.
know about that.
No,
Yeah,
he would be allowed to play during.
Yeah, well,
Because
yeah,
again,
right.
at that point, you can't hold someone out that for a non-violent crime. That's the
Right.
key here. It's
Yeah, that's the key.
non-violent. This was
Non-violent.
not Ray
Okay.
Rice.
Okay,
that
gotcha.
you know, unfortunately. So that, and let's keep this in
No,
mind. I
or
brought up Ray
fortunately.
Rice on purpose.
No, you mean fortunately.
Because here's the thing. That's what all of this comes back to. That's what all of this comes back to, that the players got over on the NFL once. And ever since
In which case?
In Ray Rice's suspension.
Okay.
And so ever since then,
fooled me once, shame on me.
Oh, I mean, any behind
First time you're a victim, anytime after that you're a volunteer.
Everyone else has been living the getting paying part of his dues, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so
D-Runk said, "Y'all right, my bad. It's all good." Yeah.
But the reality is that this shows how limited the NFLPA had to stand on. That this is the first step in being able to build off of that, to try to get some of the leverage back. They had no case. They had no say. They couldn't do anything when Goodell would say 8 games that you could appeal, but it's going right back to Goodell. Look at it again. Nah.
Yeah, but initially, I don't know how true this is, but I've read it and heard it. I mean, I heard it. Excuse me. When the 6 games was announced or determined, initially the NFLPA said that they weren't going to do nothing about it.
No, and you know why, right?
No,
it was to put, look, 6 games. Everyone I think was on board with. The Browns were on board with it. Deshaun was cool with it. The NFLPA was on, but what it was intended to do was to force the hand of who couldn't resist themselves. The NFL couldn't. No, there's negative public outcry. Ooh, and I want to get them. Let's do it. Well, they're going to sue us if they do. I don't care. We have to do something. Great.
Yeah, because how many other cases, I don't know off the top of my head, but there have been instances where the NFL has won after they've been sued or whatever, and they took it to a higher court and they came out on the plus side. So maybe they thinking that way too.
Correct. And that's just it, is to get, but again, look what I'm saying. They're doing it this way to get leverage, because again, the further you stray from the actual entity itself, the less you're
weighing in again. He said the funny thing is Goodell could care less whether he did something or not. This is all about optics and public opinion of the league.
It is 110%. But unfortunately, Goodell is paid to protect those by any means necessary. But yet, again, subjectively, because unfortunately, those same media platforms refuse to go after and protect women's rights as it pertains to the Washington football team. If Jim Irsay would have would have collided with another vehicle and killed someone, should he still own his team at that point? Being a known drug user.
Good point.
Where do we draw lines? At what point is, this is a bad, a metaphorical black eye on the NFL, but these other things aren't? Look, these are billionaires. To me, it looks way worse. They own the company.
Got another question. How do you rate moral in this country with all of the access, D-Runk? If Deshaun did any of this, and that's a if, most of these holier than thou people probably way worse. Hey, oh man, I wish I could get to my phone. Double J, you know what? I am. Y'all got to bear with me 1 second. Double J, how long will it take me if I send you something? Can you throw it up on the screen?
As long as it depends on the download time. Well, wait a minute. If it's just an image by itself, I'll just screen share it.
Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Y'all got to bear with us. I'm glad you said that, Abdul, because I got a photo I want to throw. I want Double J to throw up here. Double J, how do I send it to you? I'm gonna send it to you.
Email.
Email. Okay, hold on here.
Well, no. Either way, just send it to the group chat. That works too.
Okay, wait a minute. Doggone it. Y'all bear with me. Go ahead, Double J. Keep going up.
Yeah,
well,
why he's so I'm gonna read D-Runk's comment. I'm on Twitter right now, and everybody in caps is celebrating Goodell for appealing the decision.
Of course.
97% think that. Now remember, these are the same people that are that go to church on Christmas and Easter. And that again, remember our arguing.
But they got skeletons. But they got skeletons that would fill up a. Never mind. Double J, I'm throwing it in the group chat.
Okay.
I think I'm so good. I'm so glad you said that. Yeah, exactly. But Abdul, this comment right here, I'm gonna leave this one up here for a second because Double J is coming through. Yeah, it came through. It came through.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right, give me a minute.
Double J is gonna throw up a bear with me. We live. We got Stephen about 9. Yeah, TJ, it's 9. Yeah, okay. I'm sorry, I'm reading our little thread. We got a little group thread we got going on here. I'm gonna throw a graph. Double J is gonna throw up a picture that I came across on Facebook, and I think it's so apropos to this comment right here in particular. If you bear with us for a second, y'all. And again, we wanted to say thank you for everybody that didn't stay with us. All the comments are exceptional, outstanding, articulate, intelligent, and everything is what we stand for here. This is the basis of the barbershop, the sports commentary from a barbershop perspective. You go to any barbershop, it's not just, props and mirrors and cameras and such, not the ones I go to or the one I go to, folks from all walks of life coming through there and got an opinion, but it's like street ball, baby. It's hard hitting. You got to know, you got to be on your A game, but this is what we do here. We're going to discuss it as intelligently as we possibly can, but straight with the facts. Straight with the facts. I mean, come on now. Yeah, Double J, throw that up there for me. I would appreciate it. Oh, what you do there? Oh my goodness. This guy. Oh, okay, got you. All right. Yeah. While we take a pause for the calls right quick, we'll take another 30-second commercial break. Bear with me. 30 seconds, y'all. We'll be right back.
SK Cunningham, you watching the Shop Report.
Touch that dial. Stay tuned.
Max and Key, you're dropping in on the Shop Report.
Hey, I'm Billy Butler, and thank you for watching the Shop Report. Hey guys, I'm Les Norman, former Kansas City Royal, and you're watching the Shop Report.
Barbershop J, Quentin Hines, Super Bowl champion. I'm ready. Let's do it. I'm on.
Commander Brown, Detroit Rivers Mountain Training, and I'm watching the Shop Report.
All right, we are back. Well, we still waiting on Double J to throw that thing up there. But in the meantime, I will continue to weigh in on this. When we get back, Double J, I know you can still hear me. And for the folks that's out there still watching, in y'all's opinion or in your opinion, what does the Dolphins and owner Stephen Ross in particular, mean in conjunction with the Watson case? The NFL, I don't know exactly the particulars. I think they fined him, took away a couple draft picks, suspended Stephen Ross until October. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. And then, fined him a couple $100, whatever, a couple dollars or whatever the case may be. I'm wondering what the NFL is, what message they're trying to send to the public in that regard. Is that something to try to make the public think, okay, yeah, we don't just go after the employees, we go after the owners. But I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think that they go after the owners the same way that they go after. Listen, players. Okay, got you, Double J. I got you. Players are, and we've said this on more than one occasion, on previous broadcasts, current, in between, or otherwise. Players are nothing more than commodity. That's it. That's all. Commodity. Do you understand that the owners that own NFL teams, seriously now, an owner owning an NFL team is like a kid who plays with his toys. That's just a toy. That's just something to do for them. That's not their bread and butter. That's just something to do. That's just something to do. I'm gonna come back to this comment, Abdul, but I'm gonna throw this comment up right here. The things being accused of is going into massages and trying to persuade women to give him a happy ending. It's no different. Weinstein convincing his actress to have sex for roles. Okay.
Well, now remember here, this is if you want to know if it's had any impact on the NFL. Presently, the cheapest ticket for Bucks in the Seahawks in Munich, $567 US. Well, because the exchange is even right now, I believe. And the most expensive is $34,237. So
wait,
the NFL.
whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, say that again now.
So if you want to buy the most expensive ticket for this upcoming season's game between Seattle and Tampa Bay in Munich, Germany, at the Allianz Arena for the home of Bayern Munich, the cheapest ticket just to get in the building is $567. The most expensive ticket is $34,237. So the NFL is not in a position where they're hurting necessarily.
Unbelievable. 35. That's the most expensive, you said?
34.2. That's for category 9, 1 to 2 tickets, 34 grand a piece.
How much longer on the graph, Double J?
I'm gonna actually change it to a minute, and that way it'll go faster.
Okay, got you. Yeah, I want you all to see this because I think it was so apropos, or the correlation between Abdul's comment about moral in this country and this graph this picture that he's about to throw up here. So just bear with us. Please bear with us. Yeah, but I'll continue what I wanted to say about the Dolphins. That's not over. That's not over. What happens to Flores in this case, Double J, if you listen still? Do they just cast him aside? Let me undo your mic there. Oh.
No, that's a very good question. I don't know what happens. Here's the thing. I think if Brian Flores really wants to make a difference, which took every bit of his integrity and really him accepting that his career in the NFL was likely over by speaking out. And again, it's not proven factual. He was right. Okay, exactly. Thankfully the journalist published exactly what was supposed to go down, and it shouldn't have been a surprise to anybody, right? Like Tom Brady goes back to U of M Ann Arbor, and Stephen Ross has the school of business there, and they yuck it up. You know, they're probably buddies for probably the last 20 years. And he says, hey, how does the number 1 pick sound? I'll get Tua out of here. You can play one more time. We'll get the cheetah in here. We'll be able to get, a decent team around you. And then you can run the team after the fact.
Yeah, but from my understanding, they said it was just one of them chuckle moments. Like Pat Riley always.
Yeah, well, okay. Well, hang on a second. Isn't that tampering then?
Of course.
Okay, so here's the thing. You can't. This is what is interesting when you infiltrate the Good Old Boys network. Because it can be deemed passé because of, they can say it in whatever context they want.
Yeah.
Knowing darn well. Now, here's the thing, though. That would have been all cool. Okay, our misunderstanding. If he wasn't stupid enough to go and do every other move that was listed in there. The only exception is that Tom Brady isn't his quarterback.
Yeah, but from my understanding, they have been discussing this going back and forth since 2019.
I'm not surprised by that in the least bit.
Yeah, it's 2019. Listen, man, how many times have you heard me say on this show and others in the past? No sporting event or situation and anything surrounding sports is completely left up to chance. If you're not familiar with my man, Arnold Big Bank Rothstein, yeah, that's right, the main man connected with the 1919 White Sox, Black Sox scandal, whatever it is. Did you hear what he said? Go read what he said when he was asked by a reporter after he got caught about fixing the games. He said, listen, at the time, we can fix anything but the weather. And don't get it twisted. All these sports betting things and DraftKings and FanDuels, my apologies for the free plug, just trying to make a point here. You really think with all of the money attached to this type of stuff, everything is clean all the time, every time? I mean, man, look at the NFL. How many pass interference flags have we seen that was folks questioned and still questioned to this day? Or the Calvin Johnson catch, or the Dez Bryant catch that was the rule of no catch. Come on now.
It's in there.
Is it? Okay, good. I got to go to Brand, right?
Yeah, it's under the college football one. So it's the most.
Okay, good. Good. I'm going to throw us both up here, Double J. Where you at?
Jericho.
Oh, never mind. You'll never find justice. Here, let me take this. Let me take the comment down right quick. Matter of fact, you all can't see it the way I want it to be seen, so I'll read it. Bear with me. Bear with me here. You'll never find justice, but you all can see the picture. You'll never find justice in a world where criminals make all the rules. Huh? So again, and this is not necessarily to you, D-Ronk. I'm just asking the question in general because I love this comment. How do you rate moral in this country when the criminals make all the rules?
Right. Well, there you go.
That's a show killer right there. I should have saved it to the end. We could have ended the show on that one right there. How? How do you find moral or justice or integrity or scruples or principle and all those other adjectives that would describe upstanding and honor and all of that when the criminals make all the rules, man? Y'all seen the bear in front of the judge and the judge got the bear on the back wall? Yeah, weigh in on that, please. Please help me out here. Yeah, D-Runk said that's true. Yeah, this country has no moral. That's why it's America. Okay, yeah, I'm with you on that. That's all we're saying here. The NFL, this is the one, again, we talk about the hypocrisy. The NFL, we know they always been shady since their inception. That's why I mentioned that book, The League. I'll say it again. But in this case, in all the other cases surrounding it, and to that thing you mentioned earlier, Double J, about the umbrella, I think you done bit off more than you can chew this go around. Because I had ultimately been fighting whether or not I was going to even discuss this because I was disgusted by this. But no, that's what we're going to do here. No, if you say yes, we're going to say no. Because there's too many people out there who are on one side of this thing because they got selective perception. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm perturbed by that perception. So yeah, we're going to give it's two sides to every coin. And we're giving y'all the other side. What are you going to say, Double J?
No, I mean, I think both of you guys have kind of nailed that part of it, that we see it all the time, the amount of hypocrisy. I mean, I don't have to say Roe versus Wade and and then those that with the vaccine. And, you know, again, I didn't say which side I was on either. I don't have to, because just those words in itself are enough to say, well, wait a minute. You had one group that said, we'll get it. It saves lives in one case. In the other case, saying, no, my body, my choice. And then you're hearing my body, my choice again. And then you're hearing it saves lives. And so they've flipped it. And again, this merely plays on that. And one of the larger issues with society is the inability to have healthy discussions anymore, because it's been forced, just like I gave only 2 opinions there or 2 choices. Remember, those that are giving you the choices, again, I'd use the casino example often. I always say in sales, one of the greatest strengths I had, I said this on a podcast recently, was that I would give someone 3 choices.
D-Runk said, I agree with you. If we're going to suspend people, let's get all the criminals out of here. But I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm trying to tell you.
And that's just it. So look, I'll stand with them on this, right? That there were no criminal acts committed based on the court of law saying that he's a criminal. So
but how much of a factor should that weigh, or should that have weighed in the outcome?
Well, this is why you have to read the personal conduct policy. And I wish you would have opened with this. See, I only read a line. You have to read it in its entirety, because when you do so, what you understand is
it lengthy?
Let me see.
Because I mean, while we still here, we still live now. The lights are on, baby. It's showtime. We ain't turned the lights out yet. 742 pages.
No, only 8.
Well, then I'm gonna read them. Or do you want to read them?
No, I think you should. I think you should. And the reason why is because right now everyone's stance.
Okay, am I going to Google?
Here, I'll shoot it to you. It's from the NFL Communications Department.
Okay, please do. Hey, we appreciate the viewership. This is what we here. We trying to give y'all our best 1, 2. So just stick with us now. Stay with us, because we getting ready to read this thing. It's 8 pages, so bear with me. You know, I do have my glasses on. I'm not saying that they work, but
that in itself.
Nisa says that is profound. What exactly?
Thank you. No. I know exactly the fact that it's 8 pages, Jay.
Oh. And so true. Well, you think that's what she's referring to?
All of it, bro. It's all of it.
D-Runk said he here for all 8. You know what I'm trying to tell you? Shout out, man. We do our best, man. We just try to give it to you straight, man. No chaser. But I'm getting ready to read it here. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Wait a minute. Why did it do that?
What have I said about things like happiness, success?
It won't let me open it up, Double J.
Really?
Yeah, it's telling me every time I click on it, it's telling me to delete, copy, select, forward, share, star, and all of that. It won't let me. Yeah, ain't that something? Imagine that. Nope, it sure won't.
Well, hang on. Here's what I'm going to try to pull it up I'll get it up there for the world to see.
Okay, that's fine. Do you think we'll be able to enlarge it enough to see it?
Maybe.
You gonna?
Well, it depends on their screen. It depends on their screen.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm gonna read it anyway. Do you think it's? But we're gonna do the screen share. Oh, look who decided to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of my other co-hosts. He decided to join us while we, get ready to get out of here. Obviously, we discussed. Well, stop turning the camera sideways, man.
All right, hold on, my bad.
This is one of my other co-hosts, the chairman. I don't know about all that. This is TJ. We say AKA. We call him Shadow Man. Right now, we are discussing the Deshaun Watson situation, whether or not if he should have got 6 games. Why was Sue Robinson? Why did the NFL need an arbitrator in the first place? Is the NFL's hypocrisy at an all-time high, and will it finally cave in on them? Your thoughts, right quick.
Quick thoughts. I think they're just trying to save face from all the other cases over the years, all the other allegations, all the other missteps they took towards all the other players in the NFL. And it gives me a feel like they trying to just put it all on this case right here.
Making an example. Yeah. Abdul Smith weighing in again. Sue Robinson had to comb over 8 pages of documents, and she still got dismissed.
Okay, go ahead. It's up there.
NFL fails again. Oh, Double J, I can't read it. Wait a minute. Wait a minute here. Oh boy.
Make your screen bigger.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do that now. Let me do it here now. But wait, where are we at? Oh, boy.
You're right. No. Don't worry about us.
Okay.
What are you doing?
All right. Oh, okay. All right. But I can't scroll here.
Oh, tell me when. Tell me when. I'm on it.
Okay. All right. For my folks out there still viewing, this is for y'all. This is for everybody that's listening, still tuning in. This is the Personal Conduct Policy, League Policies for Players 2018.
You got everything out, Ms.
It is a privilege to be part of the National Football League. Everyone, a privilege. Wow. Pay attention to the verbiage in here. That's just crucial. Everyone, and they highlighted and italicized, highlighted, who is a part of the league must refrain. When they say everyone, they mean everyone, right?
Correct.
Must refrain from conduct detrimental to the integrity of and public confidence in the NFL. This includes owners, coaches, players, other team employees, game officials, and employees of the league office, NFL Films, NFL Network, or any other NFL business. Go ahead, scroll up, Double J. Right there. Conduct by anyone in the league that is illegal, violent, dangerous, or irresponsible puts innocent victims at risk. But I'm gonna ask this question: fair or unfair? Most folks I think, but I gotta ask it. What?
Just read it all the way through.
But hold on. But you know me, Double J. It's a point in there.
I know.
It's a point in there. I gotta stop right quick. They say conduct by anyone in the league that is illegal, violent, dangerous. But I'm going back to illegal. Let's be real here now. We're always talking about facts and keeping it real. So let's do that.
No. Here's the thing: irresponsible and puts innocent victims at risk, or damages the reputation of others
in the game.
Yeah.
But hold on. I want to stay on illegal just for a second. Comparatively speaking, let's go back to Robert Kraft, Daniel Snyder, Jerry Jones, Deshaun Watson, Stephen Ross. Ask yourselves this question. Which of the ones I mentioned would you deem or term illegal?
So hang on. I would actually say, I would say Stephen Ross's was illegal. I would say
Daniel Snyder's is illegal.
I'm sorry. Ross's was illegal. Snyder's was illegal, put innocent victims at risk. It damaged the reputation of others.
Yes, Snyder's fit all of the above.
Because remember that the cheerleaders are under that umbrella.
Exactly.
So, and it also undercuts public respect and support for the NFL. This guy's guilty on multiple counts. I'm telling you, he's been buying time as best he can for as long as he can until either it dies down. He's hoping there's about 20 more Deshaun Watson things.
I know he is. Yeah, we got to have a poster boy. And why not pick the player? Imagine that. Anyway, that and undercuts public respect and support for the NFL. We must endeavor at all times, if you understand what the word endeavor means, to be people of high character. Seriously? That if you think about all of the stuff that didn't shake out now, y'all really using this the character, high character, that term? Man, cut me in or cut it out. We must show respect for others inside and outside of our workplace. Where's that being shown? And we must strive to conduct ourselves in ways that favorably reflect on ourselves, our teams, the communities we represent, and the NFL. Man, miss me with, okay. To this end, the league has increased education regarding respect and appropriate behavior, has provided resources for all employees to assist them in the conforming. Conforming. That's a nice word. I like that one. Yeah. Conforming their behavior to the standards expected of them, and has made clear that the league's goal is to prevent violations of the personal conduct policy. In order to uphold our high standards, where, when, how, when violations of this personal conduct policy do occur, appropriate disciplinary action must follow. This personal conduct policy is issued pursuant to the commissioner's authority. Well, that lets you know it's a farce right there. Under the Constitution and bylaws, collective bargaining agreement, and NFL player contract to address and sanction conduct detrimental to the league and professional football. It applies to players under contract, all rookie players selected in the NFL college draft, and all undrafted rookie players, unsigned veterans who were under contract in the prior league year, and other prospective players once they commence negotiations with a club concerning employment. Scroll up, Double J.
Okay.
Right there. Expectations and standards of conduct. It is not enough simply to avoid being found guilty of a crime. So Deshaun, in this case, Deshaun was found guilty of what crime exactly? Remember now, two Texas, not two Idaho, not two Oregon, not two Arkansas even. Two Texas grand juries said they didn't see nothing. Criminal. Anyway, we are all held to a higher standard and must conduct ourselves in a way that is responsible, promotes the values of the NFL, and is lawful. Oh my God, man, they need to burn this. They need to burn this. It's like the company's got their mission statements up, but what you see going on a day-to-day basis is contrary to, and I'm using the term lightly, or word. Players convicted of a crime or subject to a disposition of criminal proceeding, in parentheses, as defined in this policy, are subject to discipline. But even if the conduct does not result in a criminal conviction, players found to have engaged in any of the following conduct will be subject to discipline. Prohibited conduct includes, but is not limited to, the following: actual or threatened physical violence against another person, including dating violence, domestic violence, child abuse, and other forms of family violence. Assault and or battery, including sexual assault or other sex offenses. Violent or threatening behavior toward another employee or a third party in any workplace setting. Stalking, harassment, or similar forms of intimidation. Illegal possession of a gun or other weapons such as explosive, toxic substances, and the like, or possession of a gun or other weapon in any workplace setting. Illegal possession, use of, or distribution of alcohol or drugs. Possession, use, or distribution of steroids or other performance-enhancing substances. Crimes involving cruelty to animals as defined by state or federal law. Crimes of dishonesty such as blackmail, extortion, fraud, money laundering, or racketeering. Theft-related crimes such as burglary, robbery, or larceny. Disorderly conduct. Scroll up a little bit more for me, Double J. Right there. Go down a little bit more. Crimes against law enforcement such as obstruction, resisting arrest, or harming a police officer or other law enforcement officer. Conduct that poses a genuine danger to the safety and well-being of another person, and conduct that undermines or puts at risk the integrity of the NFL. I wish they stopped using that. That word is redundant and ridiculous in this case for them. Integrity of the NFL clubs, or NFL personnel. Scroll up for me. Keep going. Bear with me, y'all. I'm almost done here. What happens when a violation of this policy is suspected? Evaluation, counseling, and services. Any player arrested or charged with violent or threatening conduct that would violate this policy will be offered a formal clinical evaluation, the cost of which will be paid by the league, and appropriate follow-up education, counseling, or treatment programs. Did I hear anything mentioned in Deshaun Watson's case about whatever this is that he was going to some counseling or treatment in regards to? Okay. These evaluations will be available.
He wasn't found guilty.
Okay. These evaluations will be available at designated facilities around the country on a confidential basis. The player may select the particular provider at the designated facility. Well, I know some folks that have a fun time with that word, particular provider, in this case. Anyway, the evaluation, counseling, and other services are not disciplinary, but are instead intended to help and assist the player address the issues giving rise to the proceedings. The player's decision to make beneficial use of these clinical services will be considered a positive factor in determining eventual discipline if a violation is found, and his satisfactory participation in counseling, treatment, or therapy may mitigate the fine or suspension that might otherwise be imposed. In appropriate cases, for example, cases involving domestic violence or child abuse, the league will make available assistance to the victims and families as well as the player. This assistance may include providing or direction to appropriate counseling, social and other services, clergy, medical professionals, and specialists in dealing with children and youth. Scroll up for me, Double J. That's it. These resources will be provided through specialized critical response teams affiliated with the league office and club. These teams will develop standard protocols based on experts' recommendation of appropriate and constructive responses to reported incidents of violence, particularly incidents of domestic violence, child abuse, or sexual assault. These response teams will assist victims and families in matters of personal security and other needs following a reported incident. In addition, information about local non-league resources to help victims and family members will be provided to affected parties. I was going to go through all 8, but I'm not, because this is a little bit more lengthier than I was thinking, and I got some other things I need to adhere to. But I will read the investigations portion, and then you all can go find the policy. I'm sure right there, Double J. You all can go find this whole policy. I'm sure somewhere on the internet. I mean, that's what Google is for, right? Investigations. Whenever the league office becomes aware of a possible violation of the personal conduct policy, it will undertake an investigation, the timing and scope of which will be based upon the particular circumstances of the matter. Any such investigation may be conducted by NFL security, independent parties, or by a combination of the two. In cases that are also being investigated by law enforcement, the league will work to cooperate with and to avoid any conflict or interference with the law enforcement proceedings. In conducting investigations, the league office will make reasonable efforts to safeguard requests for confidentiality from witnesses and others with information. In addition, the league will not tolerate any retaliation against anyone who in good faith reports a possible violation or provides truthful information. All right, Double J, I'm gonna take it down here. Truthful information, huh? Again, I go back to the young man, the little boy who provided the information to the interviewers, whoever it was. You know, they basically, you know, this. Listen, and we got a couple more comments. Oh, I'm sorry, we already read that one. Sorry about that. Oh, hey, wow, that's a lot of reading. Oh, we don't mean to say that there. I've scratched that. They said NFL films. Yeah, I know, right? Let me see what my man Abdul Smith. Public lynch mob. Doesn't matter if he was found guilty. Says a lot about our society as a whole. 400 years later, here we are. Wow, ain't that something? Abdul, that's what cancel culture is. It's the new public lynch mob. And then he said, that's why I don't trust nobody. So TJ, I mean, again, Watson got the 6 games. Do you think he should have got the 6 games?
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell y'all, like I told a lot of other people I talked to about this. I think the NFL should have just fined him for the 17 games he missed last year, and that would have been it for me. That's a suspension, and he was gone over a year.
I hate to make the comparison, but the NFL gonna put Deshaun on the cross and make him die for everybody's sins. Then every time they accuse of being assault or misconduct, they can say, "Look how we did Watson." Yeah. Man, it's just unbelievable, man. It just
here's the thing. Settling is not an admission of guilt.
No, it's not. It's not.
He could say, "I don't want no punishment because I wasn't found guilty in nothing."
Doesn't matter. This is the part. This is why I needed us to read this, because once you read it, it becomes evident of 2 very unfortunate truths. The first of which is that it is based on perception.
That's all it's based on, really.
Well, perception, not just publicly. It's 2 formats: public and then personal. So, again, where he was absolutely guilty, where we could have stopped reading and said, this is where you can convict Deshaun Watson. In only
the fact that you can convict everybody else who goes to clubs or anything else. I know what you're about to say already, but go ahead.
Yeah, which is at any point, anything that we deem bad. Remember, this is why Bro Rich calls it the plantation, and this is why he says what he says, because unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, whatever I believe I wouldn't do, or at least I front facing am saying I would never do such a thing. If the moment I see you do it is the moment I could easily say you're done, and for any length of time that I see fit, because you're making us look bad.
Yeah, that's why
it's as simple as that. There's no, as you saw, it gets worse if there's an on. Yeah, as it, well, more so if he would have been convicted, like if he would have had the juries, if those grand juries would have actually went after him, regardless,
he probably would never play football again.
He would have been through.
What about the people down in DC and the cases and the civil suit and that misconduct and his settlements? What about him?
You talking about Daniel Snyder?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I said, is that he is worse
based
on this list. Bob Kraft's here. No, but now see what you missed, TJ, is that in Bob Kraft's case, two things took place. The first is that the judge concealed his videotape. So essentially him in the act.
How convenient.
And
why did they conceal it?
Because they were only going to use it for the owners and employees that were going to be getting some serious fines and jail time.
Doc went in. Shout out to Doc showing up.
Now, and again, Kraft's attorneys,
they aren't black men, so yeah, they won't get it as hard. Yeah, right.
Well, but again, ultimately, in Snyder's case, he shouldn't own the team anymore because he committed multiple infractions over an extended period of time, which sounds like Watson, but his are far more egregious and they impact people under that umbrella. So he basically broke a ton of rules that as it pertains to what we were just reading. In Watson's case, he is only guilty of merely putting the NFL in a bad spot.
Yeah. Word is the NBA, Snyder wouldn't own the team. Yeah, I'm with you, D-Runk. Goodell works for the owners.
Of course he does. Right. Yeah. But again,
hey, they employee, not the other way around.
Yeah, but let's not pretend for a moment here that guys like Al Davis hated Roger Goodell, that Jerry Jones doesn't see eye to eye with Roger Goodell. So there are some that do. And when the Deflategate and all that was going on, Bob Kraft didn't see eye to eye with Roger Goodell. His tenure was very much in the fritz, if you will, because there was really no one.
He made them a lot of money. So
well, and TJ, we were going through the tickets. The most expensive ticket is I think, what was it, 34,000?
34,000
for Tampa Bay versus Seattle in Munich, Germany, this season.
34,000, man.
For one, not for the pair.
For one, yeah, not for a pair. For one ticket.
I mean, he done made them billions of dollars. So even if they don't like him personally,
but look what he
and I'm reminded of that scene in the movie The Banker, when the guy was walking up. Yeah, when the guy was walking the door, he's like, "Man, there's people I do business with that they shake hands with me and they wash their hands afterward, but I make them a lot of money." And see, that's the bottom line here. That's the bottom line, man. That's why I just mentioned earlier, man, about the betting parlors in Las Vegas and the whole nine, man. That is at the crux of that's the low bearing wall. Excuse me. When it comes to all of this, money. You can knock down every other wall in the building, but you don't knock down the low bearing wall. Because now you got to build it from scratch. You get what I'm trying to tell you? That's the low bearing wall and all this. We'll build all others that we'll say what we want to say. We'll figure out another, but no. And that's at the crux of all of this. That's at the crux. He's D-Runk weighing again. Don't the owners have to vote in order to remove another owner? Goodell can't just call a shot. That's interesting. I don't know about that.
Yeah, he can't do that. Damn, they wouldn't give him that type of power over them. They pay him. Why would I give him them? Why would I give Goodell the power over me and I pay him?
Yeah. I don't think they would do that.
Just like in basketball, they had to vote the guy who owned the Clippers out.
That's why I just said if this was the NBA, Snyder wouldn't be owning the team. I mean, we could go on and on and on and on and on with this, man. At the end of the day, That's why
but this is where if there were a positive, I've already made it clear that I would never let my kid play the sport. I just wouldn't. I don't. You could have all that success, and again, I'm one of those parents that says, look, it takes a lifetime to build a reputation and a moment to lose it. But at the same time, there's to get that far, and then to have someone's interpretation of a rule be
subjective.
That to me is just it's too much on top of the realities with CTE. I don't understand how someone in good faith they know about CTE.
Once they'll make a decision, we got to have another convo, so it's going to be more to talk about.
Well, and this is where the ultimate ruling is what I want to see is how quickly
TJ, stop messing with the phone.
Does the NFLPA sue? And so if you're a player and you want to have some positive out of this, is that the NFLPA forced their hand in that by getting away with this one, with having an independent arbitrator there, and then it just so happened it worked out that what if circumstance, which is what if the NFL decides to override it, which is what they've done, which opens them up for a lawsuit. This is arguably the best case for Watson, because again, now another judge is going to ultimately
Smith weighing in. That's why the NFLPA better punch back to cancel these fools. I'm in agreement with that too, but will they?
But this is where I'm telling you this right now. I've never been a fan of D. Smith.
DeMar Smith, me either. He'd be working both sides, I think.
If he fails Watson here, someone who was not guilty in the court of law, and again, like I said, he's more than guilty based on what we read. He violated that personal conduct policy, because again, we know why.
Yeah, right. But again, that's when we threw that graph up with the bear on it.
You could dress like Chris Cross on the Totally Crossed Out album, and they could suspend you for it.
That's what I'm trying to say. It was
who we have on the show.
Hey! Shout out to Miss Wanda.
Yay! He went tracked her down for you.
Yeah, he went and tracked her down. Yeah, Miss Wanda is a follower of the P-Roll brand. We appreciate that.
Hey, look at that smile, TJ. I don't know if you can see that.
She's a friend of the show.
Yeah, don't get jealous, Barbershop. Don't get jealous.
Oh man, save it. Ain't no need for me to get jealous. Oh boy. Yeah, the shenanigans. There's never a moment where there's no shenanigans on this platform.
Oh man.
And every time
you
they
got a hug and everything, Barbershop. You see that?
Yeah.
My buddy, my buddy, my buddy, my buddy.
TJ, you're not doing your dance. You're not doing your dance, TJ. He ain't even listening. I can't hear you. Oh. What you say?
We have somebody who's happy about the decision Deshaun got right here. My buddy Mike right here. And tell him why.
Wow.
Because he's a criminal.
Oh.
He a criminal. He a criminal, but two Texas grand juries didn't find no criminal evidence.
Is there 25 women knocking on your door talking about something?
When people don't lie.
Is there 25 people outside your job? Is there 25 people outside your house? No. There are 25 women at his door.
Do people lie?
Big Mike has spoken.
Yeah.
But all 25 of them are deemed criminals based on the acts that they would have otherwise be admitting to. By being said victim.
Mike got it out for him, man.
I told y'all most people think he's guilty. Of course, listen. But you know why? You know why most people think he's guilty? Excuse me for shaking the mic here. Because most people don't read information. How many people you think read the conduct policy, even to the extent we just did?
But probably none.
None. That's what. Listen. On how many national talk shows do you think that they even took the time to read the conduct policy to their viewers? And how many people do you think that tune into them shows every day? No knock, they eating, they getting paid, they getting the bag and all that. But how many people do you think that tune into them shows? No offense to nobody, are not susceptible to, in journalism, what I called it when I took journalism classes in college, television. T-E-double-L-A vision. It's called programming for a reason. They tell you what to think. The media's job for the most part is to propagate isms. Nobody reads anymore. It's all, we living in the instant gratification in the whole nine, so everybody gonna take, and then a lot of times, yeah, exactly, none. A lot of times at the end of the day, people who debate these things, their opinions on them are not their own. They're based off something somebody on TV said. Television. See, that's not what we do here, y'all. We take the information from them and information that we've compiled on our own, and we put it all, mix it all together, and then we give you our take based on how we see it and how it should be seen. Because here's the deal. At the end of the day, in the world we live in, this country, we understand it's immorality being disguised as morality. But whatever happened to right and wrong? We all are taught that when we're coming up as youngsters. What you should do, what you don't do, what you shouldn't do. This is why if you break the law, there's consequences. Hey, choices. Remember? That's my theme, choices. There are two results of choices, right? Consequence and reward. Right and wrong. What's right is right and what's wrong got to be addressed. How many people thinking like that? Because that's not what you're going to see when you turn on the TV, the boob tube, as we used to call it. You're not going to see that. You're going to see some guy like a Stephen A. tell live vision. Absolutely. Yeah, public image for the league. Yep. At the end of the day, man,
but that public image of the league is enough to suspend him. So I guess what we should be asking is what number of games, more so how long? He's guilty based on what we read. I'm not going to sit here and say that he's not.
No, you mean based on what was written by the criminals and what we just read.
My point is he served 17 games.
No, he didn't. That's the unfortunate part is that who suspended him last season? Nobody.
What you mean? He was out 17 games.
Why?
That's what I'm saying. Why was he out 17 games?
Who kept him out? He kept himself out.
You know what made this whole thing a mess? The Browns traded for Deshaun and giving him that type of contract. Well, I'm gonna say this. I've been on record for saying from the beginning, him coming here, and if you know this town at all, hey, the whole Rockefeller still got a house here. Okay, he might not live in it no more, but he still got a house here. He's the type of quarterback the Browns definitely need as far as the team. Okay, but it's the city. It's the city. Okay, and city's roots. Okay, I mean it's all across America, but in some places in America, it's a whole lot more stinkier than most. And this is one of them type of cities. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? I mean, at the end of the day,
it ain't got nothing to do with the city.
Well, you know what I mean when I say the city. I'm saying it in a figurative sense. Most players with this type of case don't get traded for or picked up till it's all finished. Yeah.
I mean, name another circumstance where that's happened. Where
I wonder if it would be all this backlash if a Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers got $230 million.
Well, we seen it with Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, they were all over it.
Yeah,
but for how long?
He got a slap on the wrist.
Well, until it was done. But it was done a lot faster. It went through that whole summer.
But the public outcry and the response.
Well,
it was not to the same tune.
Suspension. Oh yeah, it was. As soon as it was done, it was done. They never questioned. And remember, also, this is what I mean about paying for other people's crimes. That the public outcry was 4 games wasn't enough for Ben, and then it certainly after Ray Rice, that was it. I mean, it was almost like they needed to throw in the CBA. You break any rule, it's a mandatory blank.
Yeah.
They almost need to lay it out that way because what's happening is you have people that are measuring apples to oranges because they're trying to view each quote unquote crime or suspension as if they're all equal. They're not. So
He said he believed what Big Ben did was worse than what Deshaun Watson did from Sterling Hurt. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But again, you get folks like Stephen A. Smith. I go back to the time when Myles Garrett got into it with the Steelers player Mason Rudolph or whatever the case may be. Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, Uncle Tom
went right on the tube right there and painted Myles as the angry black man. But guess what? This is what I mean. This is what I mean by journalism ain't journalism no more. It's just a word. It's just namesake. These people ain't out about to tell you the truth no more. It's about who can report it first. Because when they discussed that, and I'm using this as an example, when they discussed what the deal was in regards to Myles Garrett, when Stephen A. and them all went in hard on him, I mean, Stephen A. was going hard on him. Look, not one time did they mention, not one time did they mention the incident that happened at Strongsville Mall involving Myles Garrett. We mentioned it on this platform. No other news outlet, sports talk outlet said anything about what happened with Myles Garrett at Strongsville Mall. And I'll repeat it again for all those who wasn't present at the time. Prior to the incident on the field with Rudolph and the hitting of the helmet and all that old kind of stuff, and we already know that whatever took place in the pile, that, you know what I mean, and what was said, you know, I can understand why Myles, you know, was reactionary, okay? Myles Garrett was at the Strongsville Mall, at a mall here in Ohio. And some fan, got out, said something to him that he didn't like about a play he didn't make or whatever it is, and punched Myles in the face. Punched him in the face. Have you ever seen Myles Garrett in person?
Wow.
No,
seriously. He's like a baby dinosaur.
TJ, have you ever seen him in person?
No, I don't want to.
Bruh, I went to Brown's training camp. Special guest. I'm not gonna mention the guy's name for reasons I can't disclose right now. But as a special guest, I was hobnobbing with the players, Landry, Mack, Biner. Yeah, I'm gonna tell it now. Come on, I'll lie for you before I would to you. You know that now. I was hobnobbing with the players. Man, Myles Garrett came and stood next to me, man. You needed one of them fire truck type ladders, man, just to even get to his. And I'm not short. You hear what I'm trying to tell you? I know you ain't talking. Over there, I got cinder blocks on the bottom of my feet with my shoes. Yeah, you gotta. Yeah, you do. You got. Yeah, you got to. You gotta have them to hit Myles Garrett in the face. But here's my point: Myles Garrett didn't do nothing in a physical manner. He called the police. Man, Myles Garrett could have bent that dude up every which way a Sunday. But if you listen to what Stephen A. was saying about him after that incident, you would think Myles was a monster. Do you understand, man? Man, here's the thing. I just want them to keep the same energy. There's a lot of, especially ESPN types, that they not going to
Sarah
do that.
Spain, some of the other ladies,
they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that.
No,
the way they feel about it.
Why are you not saying it about Daniel Snyder when he was subjecting women to, which would put them back 50 years?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you why. This whole thing.
No, Double J, you gotta go farther back than that.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you why they're not doing it.
2022. You mean 70 years, bro?
Back to the 1920s, really, to tell you the truth. That's why I mentioned that book once again, The League. I'm gonna tell you why, Double J. Mos Def, the hip hop artist, got a song, got an album, Black on Both Sides. One of the tracks on that album is Mr. N-word. Okay? Anybody and everybody that's listening, go listen to that track. And then you'll understand why we are here discussing what we discussing today and what we will continue to discuss once the verdict is in part 2. That's what we're gonna call it, because this ain't done. Come on, man. This ain't done.
I told a few people the other day, I said 6 games. Why they putting it out there that he gets 6 games when Roger Goodell gets the last word? I know what type of person he is.
Thank you. D-Runk said, I believe the mall story, but y'all right. I never heard that anywhere but here. I'm trying to listen because they selected, they're not going to tell you all of it because they want you to establish. You gotta go? You gone? Okay, yeah, we're gonna wrap up here in a second anyway. Double J, appreciate you. Because again, they want to paint the picture so as to how it's perceived. You see what I'm saying? At the end of the day, D-Runk, thinking somebody guilty and proving it is totally different. Ask both grand juries. That's what we've been saying here. That's what we've been saying here. At the end of the day, man, come on, man. I mean, you know, we all know what this thing is. We all know what this thing is, but they want to paint that picture because most people cannot or will not or willfully ignorant of thinking for themselves. They want to go to that TV and then they go to the debates, like I said, and they get to spitting about everything that come out of their mouth be about what somebody else said. I want to know what you think. Tell me what you think after you looked at it and after you read about it and after you didn't gather enough information and gather more of a larger sample size. Man, folks, take this much, and they run and they make a whole story out of it. You get what I'm trying to say? But at the end of the day, man, I appreciate everybody that weighed in on this. This was a good show. Double J had to go, you know what I mean? And on that note, I'll leave you with this quote from Hazrat Ali. Do not let greed overpower your patience. It's been fun, but we got to run. We appreciate y'all for listening. My bad, TJ. Hold on. I thought everybody else was going to jump in here, but obviously not. But anyway, yeah, it's been fun, but we got to run. Don't forget to check us out a Wednesday and Sundays at 8 on the PM side, 8:05 actually on the PM side, right here on the Yard. Or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the shop's fan page, and of course YouTube. And make sure when y'all on our YouTube channel, please hit that little bell, that little button, the notification. That's a subscribe, please. We'd be much obliged. And if that don't work, Google it. For my man's Double Day, the chairman, TJ, Doc, who wasn't here today, D Gully, who I thought was going to show up anyway, and Brother Rich, and everybody that weighed in, and for all those who follow and support us, Abdul, Nisa, D-Runk, everybody out there, and people I forgot to mention, forgive me. The mind do be slip. Special, oh yeah, special guest Miss Wanda. Oh, there you go with that stuff. Yeah, and all those. I mean, come on now, y'all. I told y'all once again. I'm gonna have to tell you
Big
one more
Mike,
again.
Special guest.
Yeah, Big Mike. Yeah, the mind be slipping sometimes, like the transmission on the 68 Buick that's been sitting in the garage too long. I'm just saying. And for all those who follow and support us, we say thank you. I'm Barbershop Jay. We got 2 more comments we want to get to right quick before we get in here. D-Runk said, I agree. D-Runk said, great stream. Smash the like button. Yeah, absolutely. Smash the like button, the love button. It don't matter. Just hit the buttons. Matter of fact, I'm going to give y'all one of these right quick. This is what Double J's favorite thing he say. No, not the buttons. Absolutely not. TJ, would you stop messing with the doggone phone, man? Oh my gosh. It's just doing whatever it want to do. Yeah, it's all good. If that don't work, y'all Google it. And like I said, the next time y'all want to know what's really going on, man, come to the shop. Walk-ins are always welcome. Holla.